When you think of a sandbox game, what comes to your mind? I would assume it's Minecraft. And for many, it would be the same. Minecraft is quite possibly the most famous sandbox game, and being a sandbox game, by that, its very nature of its creation, it allows for a massive amount of creativity. That is the point of a sandbox game, is unlimited creativity. You are just given a smattering, a pile of tools to use, and you can then create whatever you wish from it. That's why Minecraft and Lego make sense together, right? It's because they're both about pushing the utmost possible barriers of creativity, just pushing boundaries as far as possible. One of the most absolutely interesting ways I have seen people being creative recently in Minecraft is using Minecraft as a game engine. Making games inside of Minecraft, or making Minecraft into other games through the creation and addition of mods. Various versions of COD Zombies, Helldivers 2, Escape from Tarkov, Rainbow Six Siege. I've seen so many variants of this, and I want to talk about it today because I think it's I just think it's cool, man. I just think it's cool. Of course, there's also mods like Mine Fortress, which turns Minecraft into like a real-time strategy game, but that's not really what I'm yapping about here today. I find it so interesting to see this, and in my script, I called it a growing trend, despite the fact I haven't seen one of these in like a year, so maybe that trend's kind of stopped a little bit. I feel like every once in a while, I feel like it kind of makes a bit of a resurgence and then dies up and, it just kind of goes up and back down again. But I feel like it's an ongoing trend, and even in Minecraft, there has been, like, in general, there's been a kind of a push to... How do I put this? Like, trying to push the boundaries of the game as much as humanly possible, right? You've got mods like Axiom for building, which essentially just turns Minecraft building into 3D modeling, more so than something like the traditional building process. And I'm not very good at Axiom, I'll be honest. Like, I use it, I do. I find it very helpful. I think it's an amazing tool. Despite that, I'm not very good at it, but I do think that this subgroup is kind of a offshoot of the larger trend of pushing Minecraft to its very utmost limits. And I do think that this is kind of a good thing for the game. I think it showcases a lot of what can be done. It goes to show you that using a sandbox game as just a game engine, just an engine for your creativity, I mean, it's what Minecraft is about, right? It's about unlimited creativity, and this is just complete, unfettered brain activity, just sprawling outwards into the game. I think it's super cool. And so I want to talk about some of the things that I've seen. I think it is... I just think it's cool, man. So, in a video made by, I don't remember the guy's name, I'll put a screenshot of it. In a video made by this dude, he outlines his process that he went through in making Helldivers 2 in Minecraft. It's a very short video, it's like 3 minutes. I'll leave a link in the description. You should go watch it. Go check this creator out. He's super cool. Go show him some support. He deserves it. This is a very, very cool project. And now, Helldivers 2 is one of my favorite games aside from Minecraft, right? I love Helldivers 2, which might seem surprising because I tend to get very disappointed or irritated with games when things are not working according to how I would expect them to work, and Helldivers 2 is a game with a lot of jank, but you know what? Despite its flaws, it is still an amazing game. And seeing it ported into Minecraft is actually the reason why I wanted to make this video. I watched it when it came out, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago now. And I just recently saw it come up on my feed again, and I'm like, oh shoot! I should yap about that. So here I am, yapping about it. What would you expect on Stashful Yaps, right? But more than that, I think porting Helldivers 2 is a great example of what can be done. It is a game that, in the end, I think it is an entirely different design than Minecraft. Minecraft as a game is so self-driven. Whereas Helldivers 2, while it has aspects of being self-driven, and there's a lot of individual autonomy in how you want to play the game, the overall game is still driven by extrinsic forces. You still have the game master behind the screen who's running the game. It is driven by a group of people. You are one of a mob of people that drive this game forwards, backwards, side to side, what have you. Whereas Minecraft, be it single or multiplayer, is far more self-driven, far more intrinsic, right? It's about what you specifically want to do. Now, whether or not you want to be with other people, if you want to play single player like myself, I don't really care for servers that much. I far prefer working in my own world by myself, doing what I want to do, and pushing myself to be in using as a creative expression, right? That's how I play the game. And so, even when you're working with groups in Minecraft, it's still intrinsically driven. It's what you and maybe what a couple other people in a group want to do. It's not, there's no overarching story behind it, there's no lore. Most people only play on SMPs when they do play on them with like less than 20 people. As opposed to Helldivers 2, which is at any given time, I don't know, like something like 66,000 people active, roughly, at any given time, sometimes significantly more. I mean, I talked about it in my last video when I talked about, funnily enough, another video about Helldivers 2. I've been on a kick recently, I'm sure you can tell. It's just, I mean, when it began, it was at like 2 million-ish, I want to say. It peaked at, maybe, it's probably less than that, might be half. It's somewhere in the millions. And Minecraft has tried its hand at games that are a little bit more extrinsically driven. But even then, I don't think they are. Minecraft, and more so I think Mojang as a studio, their core kind of ideas are intrinsically driven. It's just about giving tools to players or giving a game to players that you've got various ways you can play it, but at the same time, if you don't want to, you're not going to. And of course, I'm sure that does still apply to all games of whether if you don't want to play it, you're not going to, generally. Some games are very addicting and it's very hard to put them down, and Minecraft is actually one of those. But I do think, even with with differences like that, I do find it very interesting to see these ports, because they feel like two very different, conflicting games. But, I mean, it works. I don't know how playable it is. I haven't tried playing it myself. I should do that for, like, a stream or something. But that would be cool. That would be cool. Of course, though, Minecraft does have a little bit of a history of its own in making games out of it, right? I mean, that's how Hypixel and Mineplex and all those big servers came to be. It's where factions came from. It's where, like, basically every game on Hypixel came from. And now, of course, and some of, like, the most famous things ever from Minecraft. There's so many maps that have been made, right? Some of the most famous ones, like Skyblock, which is one of the original maps ever. Back, the first one being invented. The first one having been made before the end was even released, which is kind of absurd. And then, of course, you've got Hypixel's take on Skyblock, which essentially turns it into an MMO, of which there are several. There's Hypixel Skyblock, there's Windcraft, there's all kinds. And so Minecraft does have a bit of a history with these kinds of things, but usually it's taking what Minecraft has and making games out of that, as opposed to taking outside sources and putting them in, which I think is a bit of a newer... I think it's a bit newer of a idea, this now pulling from outside sources versus starting completely internally and ending internally. You're now starting externally and ending internally, right? Now, COD Zombies, there have been so many versions of them. Again, Hypixel has its version, Hypixel Zombies. There's two versions of Hypixel Zombies. There is, like, the COD Zombies version, and then there's the one where you have to, like, just fight hordes, basically. Like, on a much larger map. It's the one where you start in a plane and crash, if I remember correctly. And I've seen several people, even outside of Hypixel, attempt this. I mean, I think there's probably at least 4 different versions of this. I've, like, 4 people on Instagram that I follow actively watching them do these things. And I do think, I of course think it's very cool. All of these things I think are very cool. I think that goes without saying, and I'm pretty sure I already said it. But in the grand scheme of things, I do believe this is probably the most recreated outside game within Minecraft. I do think it is. It is cool, of course. I think it makes more sense. It works really well within Minecraft. Obviously, it's been applied very simply, but I think just on the core principles of it, it works well. Because it's map based, right? And so you're building your map, whatever, you're unlocking areas. It's base progression, which is a part of Minecraft if you play survival. Um, and so that maybe adds a little bit to it. But I do think out of all of the games I've seen people try to put into Minecraft, I think that makes the most sense. Now, I wrote a huge section on horror in general because that's been a big thing recently with horror mods being added into Minecraft. But at the same time, it's not so much people taking existing horror games and adding them to Minecraft. There are some things that have been recreated from games. Like, there are, like, Resident Evil mods that, like, add monsters or whatever from Resident Evil into Minecraft. There are those. But it is taken on a life of its own, really. Minecraft horror is just becoming its own kind of group, and so I don't know how much I'm actually going to yap about it, because I feel like it's kind of gotten away from it. But there is Escape from Tarkov, which is a horror game of an entirely different creation. Of an entirely different kind. Now, extraction shooters. I like them. They're overdone by now. They were overdone a while ago. However, I think I started following Escape from Tarkov. Oh, Lord knows how long I've been following it. I don't know, since the early 2020s. Probably 21 or 22, I think, is when I started. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I can check when I joined their Discord. There has been a project for a very long time in the running called Escape from Tarkov, and essentially the idea is taking Escape from Tarkov and putting it inside of Minecraft. Like everything else I've been yapping about here. I don't think I needed to say that, but I said it. It's what it is. As little as that needed to be said, that is the case, right? And it's a cool project. I think it's cool. Of course I think it's cool. But I've been a part of it for a long time. I've been following it for a very long time. And as time has gone on, it's gotten more developed, what have you. They've added in a bunch of the maps. And of course, Tarkov over time has gotten worse. Hacking and absurd policies of monetization and whatnot, and like floating ideas. Tarkov has kind of gotten worse over time, and other extraction shooters that I think are better have taken its place. Personally, I'm an Arena Breakout fan. I do play it. I play it casually as compared to like people who really get into the game, but I am kind of competitive, I'd like to think, at least. And this is a game that, again, it's map-based, whatever, right? A lot of shooters are going to make at least a little bit of sense within Minecraft. At least a little bit, I think, just that by the nature of, like, making maps and importing them. I've seen people make, My Summer Car maps, for example. Right? It's really easy to be like, oh, well, I like this game. I want to take this map from this game and put it into Minecraft. And then you can just add on things to it. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could play Minecraft Hunger Games on a Tarkov map, like a Minecraft version of a Tarkov map, right? And it would be kind of there. I mean, you've got like 60% of, you're about 60% of the way there, because you've got other people, you got yourself, other people, environmental challenges, loot around the map, and you're gonna fight and try to kill people. The only difference being, one, you're trying to extract, and the other, you're trying to be the last one alive. Although for a lot of people who play extraction shooters, they also try to be the last one alive regardless. Some people just like playing that way. But there is one last game that I want to talk about, and that's Rainbow Six Siege. About this. Now, Rainbow Six Siege is a game I have never played. Ever. I don't care for that style of game. Not my kind of thing. It's far too sweaty for me, especially competitive. Especially competitive Siege. I could not do it. And I feel like it's gone the way of basically every game that Epic has ever touched, in that everything is now... It's gone the same way as Fortnite and Call of Duty as well, and a lot of mainstream shooters. It's just collaboration after collaboration after collaboration to get you to buy more skins and characters and whatever. And the overall game has kind of just gotten worse over time, it feels like. Of course, there's been hacking issues, both with people in the game hacking and Ubisoft themselves getting hacked. I mean, I think there's like 7 different groups all claiming they've hacked Ubisoft currently right now. Some of them have like significant proof to be like, yeah, we hacked them. Some groups have hacked Ubisoft to prove that other groups haven't hacked Ubisoft. It's confusing. If you want to look into that situation on your own, I highly recommend it that you do. But there is a video made by, again, I can't remember who, but I will, of course, put it up. Rainbow Six Siege. It makes, of course, sense, map-based, whatever the hell, we've talked about that. But at the same time, I feel like it doesn't make that much sense. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted on it. I just really am mentioning it because it exists, and it's one more example of what I was thinking about with this video of like, hey, this is a thing. It exists. It is all I have to say about it, is, yeah, it exists. It's a game that I would never play. I certainly wouldn't play the Minecraft version either. I mean, of course, you got, you know, Hypixels like Cops and Crims, which is just CS1 in a Hypixel. And again, it's the same style of gameplay. You've got maps with different points. You're trying to take the point. One group has a bomb. The other group is trying to defuse the bomb. Bada bing, bada boom. You have team deathmatch in tight space with a bomb. It's the same thing. It's CS1. It's 2. It's Valorant. It's Rainbow Six. It's COD. Has probably a version or 2 of it at some point. It's all the same difference. PUBG mobile, I think, has had a version of it at some point or another. It's the same game mode in just different forms, and now Minecraft has a version. And now there's another Minecraft version of it. Anyway, yeah, I think this is cool. If you guys have any examples of this, drop them in the comments down below. If you liked the video, leave a like. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to yap about. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. See you next time, weirdos.